So this is the team from Nicholls State University that participated in the NSPS 2025 student competition, and they're here to give us some of their feedback about the experience. So let's start with what did you find to be the most interesting or most challenging of the 2 days of the competition?
I could start. So probably the most physically demanding was yesterday. We had our monument hunt. So I think it was around 15 miles. We trekked all over Washington. So that was pretty demanding. But field day was pretty pretty self-explanatory. You know, I mean, we had our math and basic. We were prepared to an extent, but there was a few things we weren't really uh, ready for, I guess you could say. But
Yeah.
overall, we felt we did pretty well.
So with the exercises on the Washington Mall, which one caught you by surprise or posed the most problems for you to solve?
Definitely the route layout. That one, we were prepared to an extent. We've learned in the past in our first year, second year at Nicholls State. We did some simple curves, but we weren't prepared for a full route layout. So getting into that we weren't prepared as much as we could have been. It was a pretty surprise for us.
So when you learned that you were going to be at this competition as a team, was there any kind of preparation that you did? And if you did so, what was it and when did you start?
Yes, sir. Probably at least a month prior, we would pull out the compasses. We'd turn angles with the total stations, redo them with the compass to make sure that we're able to close tightly. We tried to work on some curve information and such, but with the tests and exams that we had before, we ended up coming up a little short on the curve side of things.
Were you able to get your hands on a T2 and things like that?
No, we weren't.
No?
Mm-mm.
No, sir.
So kind of to add to his, we're also all in the same classes. We're all juniors. So it was pretty helpful knowing that we can go after one of our classes like Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. We had time after each of our classes, which we're all in the same one. So we would just go after class and go out in the field, do what we need to do some calculations, practice for competition.
And I guess if I could add, our biggest our biggest thing for this whole competition was to balance, you know, all of our schoolwork to getting here. You know, it's one of those things like it's like tonight we're back to reality. You know, we got a bunch of stuff to catch up on. But yeah, if we could have on our personal side back home, if we could have a little more time, or if we could get the information a little earlier on what we could be expecting, that would be something helpful to have. For sure.
How did you feel that when you finally participated in the competition, were any of you here in previous years?
Yes, sir. We were both here.
So
Yeah,
you
we
knew
both
a
came
little
last
bit
year.
of what to expect,
Yeah.
even though every year the competition is a bit different.
Right.
But were you totally surprised
No,
by
no.
the things you
Mm-mm.
met? Okay.
No, it was one thing that kind of threw me for a surprise, but other than that, it was pretty. I mean, so last year we had the traverse and the triangulation,
Mhm.
and we had a little meeting with Denver prior to coming out a few weeks ago, and he said it was going to be pretty much the same procedure with those two, so kind of knew what we could expect, but yeah.
Yep.
So on a personal level, what brought you to surveying? Why did you decide to
So
get into surveying?
I had started out college, started going for civil engineering. Then my first year, realized that it really wasn't for me. So actually my advisor had a good friend who had a survey firm. So I went and spent a day in the office with them and just got hooked on it ever since. So
Yeah. With me, it started, I was originally going to go for civil engineering, and I looked around. We live way south of Louisiana, so we're losing a lot of land for erosion, and I decided that I wanted to stick with geomatics to try to combat that using geospatial technologies, LiDAR, and such. So I also like being outdoors a lot, and this is definitely the field to do it.
So from my experience, when I was graduating high school, I didn't really know what I wanted to do. So I was playing sports. So I went to college, played sports for 2 years, kind of wanted to figure out what I wanted to do. But I knew I liked math, I knew I liked science, and I liked being outside. So, and I live in about 20 minutes from Nicholls campus, and I heard about geomatics. I went there, kind of toured it, and I really enjoyed it. And so after going into it, stuck with it for my first year, and it was something I really enjoyed, and I want to stay in it.
Yeah, and for me, I mean, it was one of those things. So we had a professor that came out. There we have we call it career day or colonel day. We call it. We're the Nicholls colonels. So. And I had a professor. He left the university, but he was there, and he kind of invigorated me to want to join this profession and study this topic, because it's, to me, any time you have a teacher or a mentor or someone who's really passionate about something and what they're teaching, it just makes you feel that passion, and you want to absorb as much information as you can from that person. And being that I also love being outdoors and more math intensive studies, it was just a good fit for me, definitely.
Well, thank you so much for visiting with us and telling us a little bit about your experiences in the competition, and also sharing something about yourself personally and your association to surveying. Wish you well on your career, and we'll see you maybe next year.
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.